Throughout history, mankind has been searching for the answers to the secrets of the world. Visionaries, scientists, and scholars have all pondered the same question. Is there an afterlife? An eternal existence which awaits us all beyond our physical being? Or could science finally prove or disprove the existence of the afterlife? Now, for the first time, science and supernatural forces meet head-to-head as two men take things one step closer to revealing the truth on a journey of scientific paranormal exploration into the unknown. Join renowned paranormal researcher Don Phillips and parapsychologist Steve Mera as they leave no stone unturned on a venture that just might change your life forever. The truth is coming.
Hi guys, welcome back again. This is Don Phillips. The other day I decided to buy Becky some flowers, which, as those that follow me are aware, is nothing unusual. It's something I do from time to time just to show my appreciation to her and indeed the others that help me out. Prior to that, I bought Rachel a big bunch of flowers and made use of the only decent vase we'd got, so I therefore went on a hunt to try and find a vase. I went to 3 large stores, no vase. Walking through the shopping centre, I happened upon a charity shop, and in the window was what looks like, at least from a distance, a very nice large vase just for the job. I went in, I purchased the vase, £3.40, absolute bargain. It was when I actually got it in my hand and looked at it, I thought it looked a little suspiciously like possibly an urn, something to do with the dear departed. Anyway, taking that into consideration, I decided it was a very nice vase, so I promptly came home with it, popped Becky's flowers in it, put it on the shelf in the hallway. It looked very, very nice. Consequently, Rachel shortly afterwards came in from work, looked at it and said, "Oh my god, that's an urn." So the jury's still out on that, see what you think. Anyway, this is the vase in question, and as you can see, some very nice flowers in it for Becky. Now, that in itself is not unusual. What was unusual is when Rachel picked Emma up, my daughter, who's 15, and came in, saw the vase, commented. We both came through to the lounge, which is a short distance from the front door, through the hallway. And my daughter was standing there, just looking at the vase. Out of character, she suddenly said, "I think this lady's name was Caroline." I looked at Rachel, she looked at me. How random, we thought, because that's not like our daughter at all. It's not the sort of thing she'd say or even think about. Anyway, we paid it no more attention, but later that day, it was about maybe 1 o'clock in the morning, I put the recorder on to speak to Becky, because I do that quite a lot off camera, obviously, even if it's just for a few seconds. "Hi Becky, how are you? Are you feeling today? Are you happy?" etc, etc. It's the kind of relationship that we've got. It is ongoing throughout the day, not just when the camera goes on. I press record, play back, hoping to hear Becky, and this very clear female said, "That's my vase." Okay, in light of what happened earlier that day, I thought, how intriguing. What I wasn't actually prepared for was the second recording. I said, "Who's that?" And she said, just as my daughter had said, she didn't say "it's Caroline," she just said, "Caroline." I'm going to play that for you now. Actually, what I forgot to mention is the first part of this, before the Caroline, "It's my vase," which I've already mentioned, which is not that clear, but I think it's clear enough, and a very distinct "help us" afterwards. So it's my vase and "help us." So let me play that first of all, then we'll play the Caroline, which was the reply to my question, "Who's that?" that was a little mini sandbar. Let's now play them as captured, as we do. So the first one is this. And the one when I said, what's your name? This is the Caroline one. Very nice voice. I wasn't aware of Caroline prior to that day, and I haven't heard that voice prior to that day either. So very, very intriguing that Emma would just suddenly come out and say, I think this was Caroline. Or what, whether she owned the vase, whether she was in the vase, I don't know, but absolutely fascinating. We are going to see if we can talk to the guys in a moment. When I was setting the cameras up and everything, I thought, okay, it's pretty clear outside. Since then it started pissing down rain, which is not going to help at all. But you know, we will persevere. Before we do that, I would just like to make clear, in the last video, not the last video, sorry, the one prior to that, there was a clip in there from when we investigated Tutbury Castle. Now, I made reference to the fact that Becky had told us there was a bracelet in a certain location, and we was looking obviously on the surface for that bracelet, and I did say that we would, in my naivety, return with a metal detector to find out.
Right. Yeah, if we find a bracelet now, guys. Well, someone's kept to say you come up and planted it earlier.
Does she mean on the top or does she mean underneath?
Well, how close are we?
Well, we're there. You know, if I have to come back with a metal detector, I'll come back with a metal detector.
That was a big assumption on my part, and for that I do apologise. This could only take place with the highest of permission, which has not yet been asked for, granted, or anything like that. I just want to make clear that at no point am I, or is there anybody else, allowed or to even consider going down to Tutbury Castle with a metal detector to look for anything. It's just totally not even a consideration. So I just wanted to clear that one up. Like I said, it was an assumption on my part because I didn't know any better at that time. I've since been informed that that will not be the case. So unfortunately, whether there's a bracelet there or whether there's not a bracelet there, for the time being at least, we will never know. Still very, very intriguing. But the other voice, you will find us over there. There's what appears to be a female voice. I'm not sure to see if you can find us, but it sounds a little bit weird. But then there's a whatever that is, and then the gentleman says, find us over there. The rest of that footage will be available when that episode is actually complete. A couple of days before we actually arrived at Tutbury, there was some footage shown by Derek Accor's crew of a shadow that they believed may have been spiritual in nature, which walked across, well, passed on the wall, stopped, and then continued. There is no doubt that that was a figure. I have no doubt at all of that, nor has Steve Merritt. We decided to try and replicate, to see if we could recreate that, and if so, how closely could we actually recreate that. I think we was pretty successful. Take a look at this.
You haven't been able to, which just shows, doesn't it?
Sorry to interrupt. I've heard a lot of debate going on in the last few minutes. How are we actually getting on?
Well, basically, we've pretty much worked out it could be replicated under the conditions of two light sources.
Right.
We know that there was a primary light source used,
Right.
which was fixed around this location. But it was mobile, as if somebody was in control of that. It might have been fixed to them, it might have been tripoded.
Oh, yes, that's how it appears.
But it was seems to appear to capture in the infrared footage the reflection in the picture on
Right,
the wall.
okay.
You can see the light source. And it's independent to the camera, so we know that it's moving. So we know that we had to be a fourth party, a fourth person in the environment at the time the footage was taken. To gain that size image on the wall, a shadow, has to be a second light source. The second light source has to be distanced. It also has to work out the height of the person. I'm a tall guy, so obviously I'm cast a big shadow. You know, but to gain height as it moves from right to left on the footage, you'd also have to move in towards that direction, which would mean basically that we would have to move slightly towards the light source to grow in size.
Right, okay, so this is what we're kind of thinking, theorising what's happened or may have happened, so the next stage now is trying to replicate
Well,
it.
the idea is let's go to infrared, let's set the light sources up and let's see if we can have it.
Get a camera set up and yeah, we'll measure the distance, we'll measure the height.
Well,
we'll speak to Leslie.
Make it a bit of a scientific issue, which of course is what you're doing. And all I'm
just check it
interested
out, guys.
in, yeah, is just to see what's going to happen. I'm
Brilliant.
fascinated.
Okay. Our intention wasn't to go there to the castle to debunk. It wasn't a debunking mission. Neither are we suggesting, or am I suggesting, that it was staged by Mr. Akora in any way, or deliberately faked. The whole thing about the Phenomena Project and his investigating phenomena is to see if we can find a rational explanation other than what may be only considered at the time by the people there at the time, and to see how closely that we can replicate it. And then we ask, could it have been a spirit, or could what we'd actually replicated have actually been what occurred, what had taken place? We don't know the answer to that. We will never know the answer to that because we wasn't there at the time. So I'll let you decide.
Over here.
Should be, don't you?
Right. No, it don't matter, right? Because the first part is with the two people here. Just get into position. Just look over there, the picture. Okay. Now all I need to do is get an infrared shot of that at this moment in time. That does this section. I need you to do it from there, facing that picture. From there, so we can get the bounce back on the infrared line.
Jackie just forward, just a tiny bit. Neil to the right, just a tiny bit.
You're right.
Oh no, actually, because
No, that's okay.
that's about right, isn't it now?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Right, now I'm just going to go lights out for a minute.
Yeah, okay.
Which is focused.
This is that, have we got the flare? I think we're getting some reflection there, aren't we? See it?
Yeah, it's there.
There it is. It is there,
I
yeah.
know that is there, look.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
it.
That's it.
You've
But
got it
let me
right.
go for the picture. That is absolutely, if I
Spot
move
on.
that.
Because they are pointing, just point over there. Okay. That's it. Okay. Okay, so you can see obviously the stairs, right? So that is about right.
That's bang on.
That's bang on. Right, we've got that on record, yeah?
Yeah.
Now all we've got to do is, knowing where that camera is now,
Right.
is set up the lighting source to create the shadow.
Which is focused.
Oh, Steve. It's too big.
I guess because it moves on.
Yeah, but it's not defined enough. It's.
It is.
Do me a favour. If we walk to Steve, Doom's got to be proud. Too big. Shadow's too big. Too big. So, go.
Too far across.
Yeah.
Recording.
There, that's better. Right, so, to there, and then over to, okay, ready? Hang on. In fact, go right backwards so you're not even on it. No, that's fine for a minute. That's fine. Brilliant, stay there. 1, 2, 3. Step forward, and then straight this way. I
It's absolutely. Brilliant. Stay there. 1, 2, 3. Step forward and then track this way. I reckon that.
Me and Steve Miller was chatting on Skype, just audio, and Steve said, "Don, can Becky remote view?" So I said, "Well, yes, I would have told you that she can, because she obviously repeated a couple of circumstances where she'd done that and validated herself and what she was telling me. As I've said before, Becky's never been wrong about anything when that's some going in the time that she's been with me." So I said, totally off the cuff, I said, "Steve, do you want to just do an experiment now?" He said, "What do you mean?" I said, "Well, where are you?" He said, "I'm in my bedroom." I couldn't see Steve because there was no video on the Skype, it was audio only. I said, "Okay, Steve, pick something up and just hold it in your hand and tell me when you've done it." He went, "Why?" I said, "Because I'm going to ask Becky what it is that you've got." Bear in mind that Steve is over 100 miles away from me in Manchester. I'm in Leicester. So anyway, a few seconds later, Steve says, "Okay, I've got something." So, "Okay, Becky, what's Steve got in his hand?" A slight pause. And Becky said, "A pendulum." So I could hear the pendulum, but there was a bit of a shh on the end, so I wasn't 100% sure. I was like 95% sure. So I said to Steve, "It sounds like Becky says, it's a pendulum, Steve." And Steve just started laughing. And I thought he was laughing because it was nothing like what he was holding. So I said, "It's okay, I'm going to do it again if you want." He said, "No, I'll try again if you want." I said, "Because the conditions are bad, it's a little bit staticky." No, he said, "It's not that." So anyway, he was laughing. He called Jackie, his partner, into the room, told her what had happened, and I repeated, "A pendulum." As you're about to hear, Jackie's response was something along the lines of, "Don, you've got to be shitting me, you're scaring me now." It transpired that Steve had gone to the drawer, taken out his, I think it's a closed face pocket watch, and apparently he was sitting on his bed and he was just swinging it backwards and forwards like this, or like this, whichever way. So yeah, it was a pendulum. And straight off the cuff, little experiment there. Again, Becky, absolutely fantastic. So while I'm looking for my night vision camera and see if I've got a battery for it, take a listen at this.
Right. Well, we were just talking about, can Becky, remote view, did you say?
Well, hang on, have you got DVD? No, come on. Go on, say again.
Well, you said, can Becky remote view?
Yeah.
I said, you said you was on your bed, and I said, well, is there something you can put in your hand?
Yeah.
And then I said, you said you had.
I have. I've got it in my hand.
All right. So I said to Becky, can you tell me what Steve's got in his hand?
So he's asked Becky what I've got in my hand.
And the recording is, it won't sound clear to you on the phone because it's a bit staticky, but...
Is this got speakers on this phone? Just hang on. Right.
Right, so hang on. So, from the static...
Go and ask Becky what I've got in my hand. So Becky's coming here and looking and said, "Tell it." Right.
So I've asked Becky... And it sounds, it sounds like pendulum. Hang on.
John, you are shitting there.
Right.
What? No, I'm not shitting you. I wouldn't do that, Jax. Is it? You got a pendulum?
What I've got? Tell him what I've got.
Right, what he's got is he's got a pocket watch on a chain, and he's swinging it.
It's a pendulum then.
Exactly. But he's shitting there.
No.
John, you're frightening there.
No, let me tell you how this has come about, Jackie. And this is why I'm recording this, just in case, because we was talking. Steve says, as Becky, and I'm recording this, Steve, and I'm going to put this out. Has Becky ever remote viewed? And I says, "What do you mean?" He says, "Well, from other places." I says, "Yeah, I told you about the Area 51." Yeah. He says, "No, you didn't." And I said, didn't I? I told somebody. Well, anyway, Becky told me about 2 years ago, I was explaining to Steve, that there is a hangar called Hangar, which is not even, I'll tell you how secret this is, it's not even listed on their own documentation as existing, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, that's right.
And this is right underground. And I says, oh, that's right. First of all, I asked her about aliens. Oh, they're aliens. She told me about this hangar, this certain hangar down there, and she told me the name of it. And she says, they're experimenting on them. I said, on what? And at that point she went, aliens.
Yeah.
And I thought, okay, because this is from Becky, so for me, 100%, I don't care what people, conspiracy theorists, skeptics or whatever, that is the case, because Becky is never ever wrong. She's never ever been wrong, Steve.
Well, can I be honest with you, Don?
Yeah.
And I do 100% agree with what you've just said there, because in the time that I've known you, I've never heard you once talk about aliens.
No, because I was never...
Because it's not your...
For years, all you paranormal fans out there have had to put up with TV shows. You thought, this is fantastic, and then you start reading about stuff that's been faked, people that have left the show that started spilling all the beans, you know. All the kiss and tells and everything, the fake stuff, the stage stuff. You've got skeptics in every corner trying to diss everything. You've got mainstream science ignoring everything. This is the real deal. And while I'm about it, what I'm going to say is, if there is one, if I can find one mainstream scientist to join the Phenomena Project, then please do get in contact. You can email me, don.phillips.jsi@gmail.com. I can provide anything that you need. You don't have to agree with me with anything. We just literally need someone to tell it as they find it after scientific investigation, analysis, which Steve Marrow is doing a damn fine job on at the moment. But obviously it's always good to bring somebody else in, somebody totally unconnected, somebody that I've not known previously. I didn't actually know Steve previously. I'd only met him once at a conference, but even so, I think now would be a good time to bring a mainstream scientist on board to test everything that I submit, everything that Steve says. You know, I have nothing to fear, I've got nothing to hide. This is real. There are those out there that will go, of course it is, but that's not a problem to me. It doesn't matter.